I couldn't ignore it. Like a part of me wanted to just bypass it and say like I'll figure it out. But in my heart, in my soul, there was a feeling that was like, do it. So I swallowed my pride. I went to the site and I created a GoFundMe. Welcome to Healing Conversations podcast.
Podcast.
Yes. Hello,
Hello.
hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Healing Conversations.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Healing Conversations podcast. I always set the tone and say this is our safe space where we talk all things expansion, growth, and we bring our real life experiences to this space so we can grow through, heal, and really expand from what it is that we are experiencing. So, this is our safe space. And know that we definitely enjoy your engagement. We enjoy your questions. We'll be opening that up soon. And we enjoy you tuning in because this is really what it's about through the ripple effect. As we share, we release, we send that energy out, and it affects the wholeness of the collectives.
Yes, so make sure you are tapping in, taking notes, and taking action because we will be giving you action steps. We are here to bring awareness and tools and support. I know you may be listening or watching and really digesting it, in this moment, but know that it goes beyond this space and place. Feel free to reach out to us. We are here to support you with anything that we've been talking about, over these past couple episodes, and anything that we talk about in the future. So, yeah. Right, Mel, what is our topic for today?
Y'all get ready to get your notepads out, get your Kleenex out.
Yeah.
It's really allow yourself to be in the present to receive this because what we're going to talk about is something I feel like we don't really talk about much. And it's just really going to be juicy. So today we are going to talk about shame and how when we release the shame, we face the shame, we allow ourselves to open up portals and doors that we often don't even see that are possible to do because we're so in the darkness of what we are afraid to give our energy and focus to. And I always like to bring my experiences because, as I said earlier, we bring our real life stories and just situations into this space. And I know for me, I'll share what I've already moved through, just because it's that feeling of empowerment versus still feeling like in the midst of it. So last year, I had to really face shame in an uncomfortable way. I had an experience where, like, I had some issues with my car, and I had to pay a lot of money to take care of it. But I didn't have the money at the time to take care of it. So I have some resources that I know that will be like a lifeline if needed. But in the midst of me, like in that experience and knowing I can default to the resource, there was this pull in me, a voice in me that kept saying, like, go fund me. And I'm like, go find me. Like, no, I ain't going no go find me. Like, what are you talking about? Go find me. But it kept coming to me. And the more I tried to ignore it, the louder it got. And a part of me knew that this was that inner voice guiding me to open myself up to receive support. But for so long in my journey, I was ashamed. I was scared to say that I even needed it. So I masked it with, I got it all together. I'll figure it out. Everything is okay. But there's been a lot of times that that hasn't been the case, but I've been too ashamed, too afraid to speak up and express. So I've just like kept that just muted and never really expressed it. But in this situation, life was like, okay, in order for me to give you what you're asking for, you gotta ask for what you want. And in the time, like I wasn't knowing that was the case because I was so uncomfortable with even the idea of doing that, creating it, let alone posting it for people to see it. But I couldn't ignore it. Like a part of me wanted to just bypass it and say, like, I'll figure it out. But in my heart, in my soul, there was a feeling that was like, do it. So I swallowed my pride. I went to the site and I created a GoFundMe. And I did this like late, y'all. Like I had the whole day pretty much like to get it done and knock it out, but I was resisting it. I was avoiding it. I was fighting it. So I didn't want to do it. But I caved in and I'm like, okay, so this was like late in the evening. I'm like, okay, let me just make it. And I put a post on social media and I just like slept on it. I'm like, you know what? Like thinking in my mind, okay, it's up at night. In the morning, I'm just gonna delete it, and it never was there because there was still this like shame of like being seen like that and being
Mhm.
vulnerable and so just open like that. And when I woke up, I seen all the love that was coming my way. I seen that there was already like people who had donated. There were people who were just like pouring into me. And in the midst of that, like I still was like in the receiving, but I was still in the shame of receiving because I felt like a pity party. I felt like they were just like I was like just begging and asking. And I was so worried about what people were thinking that I still was like, even in the receiving, I was still thinking like, oh my God, like people are not going to see me as this authority, all the things that I'm doing, like they're not going to like think it's official. And I was just all in those stories and thoughts. And even as the like the blessings and just things were coming in, I even contemplating like deleting it. I'm like, like okay, I just this is enough. Like I just don't. But someone was like, keep it up, keep it up. This ain't it. There's more that's coming. And what I learned from that is that by me allowing myself to not hide in the shame and get like stuck in that feeling of shame and embarrassment, by me bringing what I was experiencing to light, by me sharing it openly and vulnerably, there was so many blessings that were waiting for me
Mm.
that I never would even have allowed myself to have access to had I just stayed muted, stayed afraid, stayed embarrassed, and not really just say like, hey, this is where I'm at and this is where I need support with. And life can only meet you where you allow yourself to just honor where you are. And then that's where you're able to be led to the next space. But a lot of times we try to pretend that we're somewhere else and we're
Mm.
not moving from the aligned space and we're forcing ourselves to be in a space that we're not ready to be. And I'll end it there.
Oh, beautifully landed. And thank you for sharing that story. A lot of us can get into that space of feeling like we won't have authority or people won't take us seriously or respect us because we built up a certain reputation or brand or whatever. And we become afraid to ask for support. Like you said, you know, if we don't open our mouths, we can't get help. But we're over here saying like, "Oh, I'm okay, I'm okay," but really, we need help. And I really appreciated that last part that you shared around just how you actually you opened it up to the portals and the doors part because once you release that shame, then things start to pour in. It's like this abundance wants to make its way to you because it knows that you require it before you even ask. But you're
Mm.
like, oh no, I'm ashamed. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I can't ask because whatever. And it's so powerful when we can allow ourselves to step into that space of receiving. And I
Mm.
love how you shared, even though you put yourself out there, you were still like, I don't know if I'm available to receive this because our mind will play tricks on us, y'all. Because we hear that voice, we hear that inner instinct telling us to get help. Somebody can help you with this. There's a solution. You don't have to struggle by yourself. But then our mind is like, but you know what? They're gonna be looking at me like I'm some little sad puppy dog, and I don't want to be looked at that way. Or if I just go over here and I ask my cousin or I ask my friend or whoever, to just give me the money and then I can just worry about paying them back and it just be like a secret thing. Like the mind tries to like keep things in the shadows. But when we do that, we don't open ourselves up to the light, to
Mm,
receive, to grow, to be supported in a real, authentic way. Because sometimes that person who we know will give us money often does it with conditions, or they will be the one who is looking at us like, oh, you pitiful sad little thing, oh, let me help you again, and that's really where that seed of hesitation comes from for
mm,
asking from support. I really invite you, I know we're not at the point where we're giving tips and tools, but I really invite you listening to this, when you feel a hesitation about asking for something, whether it be support financially or information or encouragement, you just need some energy exchange. Unpack that a little bit. Unpack it and see where, who, when that started with you. Or when you think of asking for support, whose voice comes in and says, don't do that? Because I know for me, a lot of that is parental. I
mm,
know for me, that often comes from toxic friendships that I had in middle school and high school. So I know that I can address that moment and situation when I pinpoint it and then move forward now and say, okay, I know that there may be people out here who would judge me or take advantage of me for asking. However, I also know that my intuition is telling me someone out there is willing to help me. Someone out there is willing to extend compassion and kindness. And I'm going to choose to go into this new moment instead of hanging on to this old one, because those things haunt us. And what was coming up for me while you were talking is how I'm in the process of building my business and taking things to a new level. And when I first had the idea of like being a business owner, having my own community space and things of that nature, um, I didn't, I really wanted to do it like by myself. Like, I didn't want to, I felt like, and I'm kind of unpacking this now. I was feeling like if I asked people to invest or like for donations or anything, any sort of like financial assistance or even like information assistance, right? That I wouldn't really be doing it. Like it wouldn't really be my business, you know? And it feels silly coming out of my mouth because I know differently, but I know it's important for me to say that out loud
mhm,
because it was there and it came up while Raymel was talking. His situation was different where it was more personal, but when we think of businesses, that's how they start. They get funding.
mhm,
And I guess my hesitation was more around not wanting to feel like somebody could take advantage of me, or if things didn't go a certain way that I told an investor they would go, then I would feel ashamed about that.
mm,
However, again, I'm realizing that as I go through this journey and I open myself up to receiving as I'm doing through this conversation, healing conversations, okay? That there are some people out there who are willing to invest in the ideas that I have to contribute to humanity,
mm,
and they're just willing to do that, and they're not like, oh, I have to have like these giant sums of money coming back, or you have to do exactly what I tell you to do to a T. No, there are people out there who see me and they see the vision and they know that I can execute it and they're willing to put money behind that. and they're willing to offer grace for the pivots and things that come. So I really appreciate you bringing this topic forward because that's something I didn't realize
Mm,
I needed to unpack. And that's a crucial part of the journey because if we cannot receive it, if we're blocking it with shame and fear and guilt, then it's not gonna happen.
mm.
And we're gonna be 80 years old, like, dang, I wish I had done this thing. I just been a little bit bolder and asked somebody to support me, but now I'm 80 years old in a retirement home and I don't even have the energy to think about it like that. Ooh,
Mm. That
that made
hit.
me emotional, so I'm gonna land
I
it
felt the
there.
emotions from that too, and I think what really brought up those emotions because
Yeah.
that's what we see
Mm,
throughout our just environments throughout this world is people who, even at that 80, they're still ashamed
mm,
that they never try, so they're just stuck in this is all there is, and that just really it hurts my heart. But I think what really brings the emotions in me is it fueled my fire.
mm.
Because there is this passion in me. Oh, okay, y'all. Like we told y'all, just
Get the
disclaimer,
tissues
there's
and the
tears that comes
notebook.
through here. So I told you in the beginning, get your Kleenex because
Yeah.
it comes through you as you're just expressing it. But there is this passion I have is that I want to empower people. I want to support people and connecting to a vision, connecting to a dream that they didn't even think was possible because they've been told that that isn't what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it. So they've been ashamed to even say that they want to do it. And once we move through that wall, we're able to see that there's so much life to live. There's so much that we came in this world to give. And we have now, we start to build that courage. We start to build the momentum of inspired action. And we give our light. We share our light. We be the light. And we're
Mm,
able to light up the world with the awareness that we don't have to be ashamed of things that we've called a mistake or may have failed at or think that may not work or tried and it fumbled. It's like we get to hold it with love and
mm,
witness it with love. And that's how we're able to just be that. Because right now there's so many people, and I wanted to speak to, and I love that you brought up like those moments in our childhood that we built the shame on because it becomes the shame barrel that we carry. And I
mm,
like to just bring that into it because even also this space is called Healing Conversations Podcast. And a lot of people don't take action to heal because they're ashamed that they've experienced trauma, that they've had hard, heavy things that they had to endure in their childhood and they've been ashamed of it. Because I know
mm,
just a quick, just little for me, the upbringing I had, there was a lot of just abuse in all levels. I didn't see that outside of my house. So of course I was ashamed of it. So I tried to create this character that everything was okay because I had this perception that everyone was just living these perfect lives and they were having these perfect homes and perfect families. So I was
mm,
ashamed of what I was experiencing. So I just muted it. I kept it in, but I didn't realize how that was just building more and more. And it created more uncertainty, unworthiness, ability to just do things and pursue things. And it kept me in the space of just not trying and not thinking that I even had the ability to try. So I
mm,
settled. And a lot of times, a lot of us, we don't take that next step on, even if it's not the healing journey, but just something you want to pursue or do because you're ashamed that you failed at something else. So you're just assuming that this thing won't work.
mm,
And that shame piece is just a big weight that keeps a lot of people stuck and they never move forward. And we often see a lot of people seem like they're moving ahead in life, elevating in life, doing great things in life. And there's that part of us deep down that knows that I can do it too. I can do that too.
mm,
But we're so ashamed of what we have been doing. We're judging it. We are condemning it because of what we were taught and what we started to take on and do ourselves. So as we've been spoken or speaking about collectively about that voice is not even ours. It was given to us, and it
Mm,
took away our actual voice.
mm,
It robbed us of the voice that wants to express, that wants to share, that wants to give, that
mm.
wants to speak up. And a lot of times we just let the other voice run the show. And that's where we never stand up. We sit down and we watch
Oui.
everyone else live that life. So I just wanted to bring that into it because if you are at a point or just knowing that there's something that you feel stuck in, something that you know that you kind of want to move through, but you don't even know how to start it, I invite you to just ask yourself, what am I ashamed about right now? Because there's some
Mm,
shame that is keeping that block from like opening up and keeping you from opening up to even express, I need help, I need support, I want to do some work. And just being aware of it, now you have the power of your choice. You can choose to stay muted or you can choose to turn the volume up and speak up. I'll end it there.
mm. Beautiful place to land in because the power of choice, nothing beats knowing you have authority and agency over your choice making. Nothing. Not in my opinion.
Hmm.
Because that has been one of the most literally empowering things that I've come across in my 32 years of life.
Mm.
Knowing that I have the power to make choices that can transform my life and my experience, even if those choices are just a very small, let me choose to release the shame around asking for help. And listen, I say small, but I'm saying small as in as far as like physical action one needs to take.
Hmm.
Because it's an internal job and it can be heavy depending on what area we're unpacking or poking at. But you really just need to sit there with yourself and say, okay, I'm deciding, I am choosing to release the shame around this. And then the next step would be, what action can I take now that I'm free, now that I know I have the power to choose? So, powerful way to wrap up that talk and conversation, Raymel. Yes. Oh, I love this. So good. So good.
Mhm. So now we're at the point where we will leave you with three tips that we feel like will support you just with this juicy conversation because we could talk about this for hours and I know it's like cliffhanger, oh my God, I want more, and I know you probably do want more.
I want more.
Our intention with this space is to not overfeed you, overserve
Yes.
you, because we want you to be able to digest, process, and implement what it is that we're talking about and put these practices and tips that we will leave you to action. So that's how you're able to really build that momentum of doing the work and you'll start to see just a little changes and shifts. And that's how we're, as I said earlier, supporting the expansion and growth of the collective by these little seeds that we're dropping. So our three tips that we'll live for today. And I'm thinking today, how about we do tag your it? So I'll share one, you say one, and then I'll say one. And then that's where we'll
Okay.
just really allow the diversity of what will come through. So the first tip that I'm feeling called to support you with that I will invite you to practice is this week. Really identify an area that you feel like you want to take action in, whether it's you start something as far as creative, a business, a program, a project, call someone, whatever that thing is, and really see like how do you feel about it, really do an internal check-in and just see how are you feeling about it. Are there parts of you that are feeling excited, joyful, ready, or there's parts of you that are feeling like nervous, doubtful, uncertain? And if it's more in the energy of the doubtful, the uncertain, or just like the indecisive, sit and ask, what do I feel ashamed about with this? What about myself do I feel ashamed about? And that will allow you to identify it not only in your mind, but you feel it in your body and really just sit with that. And as I shared earlier, make the choice that I'm ready to do the work to release it. And I know that was a big one, but I feel
Mm,
like that was a lot that I wanted to like really leave you with since we're already giving you this juiciness of the conversation, but really give you something that's in a line that will be some beautiful implementation if you do it.
yes, I am thinking along the lines of that. List out 5 people or places where you can get support.
Mm,
And if you're feeling bold, if you're feeling advanced, reach out to them. Actually take the action to do so and see what support is available to you. Open yourself up to it. But just the baseline that I have tool for this week is just list them out and know that it's there. Acknowledge that support is available to you. That's my
mm.
tip.
All right. And the last one is I want to leave you with a affirmation, a redirection that you can give yourself to really remind yourself because a lot of times the mind will do what it does and we would a good way to not get lost in it is to counterpart it with a truth statement. So, affirmation that's coming through for me that I want to leave with you is I have nothing to be ashamed about. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am able. And I am ready to release any shame, any guilt, any doubt, anything that no longer is in alignment with my expansion and growth. I let it go. And just say that. Allow yourself to feel into that. Allow yourself to release that which is whatever that is not in alignment with how you want to feel and how you want to think. And yeah, just put these to use. So I invite you to put these to use because I feel like
Yes.
through implementation comes transformation. So the more you implement,
Mhm.
the more you start to see your life become unrecognizable.
Yes. And just a quick little recap, and I'm going to paraphrase the affirmation. Go back and rewind if you want to get his for real words. But this week, we are asking, inviting you to identify an action area, doing an internal check in, and ask, what do I feel ashamed about? Where is shame at with this action item I want to take, this thing that I want to do, grow, be, see? Where is the shame at? And the second thing is list 5 people or places that can support you. Acknowledge that you have support and that it is available for you. And then the third is affirm that you are releasing shame, that
Mm,
you are you have nothing to be ashamed of, that you are worthy, that you are powerful, that you are able, and that you are ready to release this shame and let it go. Because it's time. If you're listening to this right now, you're on Healing Conversations podcast listening to this right now. It is the time right now. It's time right now. Oh, yeah, I feel
it's
that.
time right now. We thank you all
Yes.
so much for tuning in and just joining us today
Yes.
for this powerful conversation. Be sure to check us
And
out
make
on
sure,
Instagram. We meet
yeah,
on my page, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. That's when we're live and in person and we bring people on the virtual stage and you can engage with us in real life time. And it's just a beautiful real life space that we just extend this space in just real life form. And we have other things that we'll do in the future. But that's what we have going on now. Anything else you want to share before we go, Sister Angelique?
I just want to make sure that they know they can comment, share, put a review, let us know what you are thinking. We want to have a dialogue with you. We want to know how these tools and tips are supporting you. If there's anything else you would like us to unpack, let us know in the comments or reach out to us at Raymel Bentley on Instagram, at VZ Spaces on Instagram. Because, yeah, this isn't just about us. This is about creating community healing. So we want you to participate. But yeah, we appreciate you listening. Thank
Yes.
you for being here. And we'll see you or hear you talk to you next week.
We will see you and hear you and talk to you next week. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you, and we will talk to you and see you soon.
Bye.